Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales. I'm Adrian, and today we're diving into some fascinating palace intrigue that's been quietly making headlines. It's a story about duty, tradition, and a little royal tension. Princess Anne, the famously hard-working Princess Royal, is reportedly annoyed with Prince William. Why? Because she's still carrying the bulk of Windsor's investiture ceremonies, even though William literally lives right there on the estate. So, what's really going on? Why can't Queen Camilla or Princess Kate simply step in and help? And could this small crack in royal duty reveal bigger issues inside the firm? Stick with me because this story touches on the heart of what keeps the monarchy ticking. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is an investiture ceremony? Twice a year, the UK Cabinet Office releases honours lists recognising citizens and overseas nationals for outstanding service, achievements and contributions. From Olympic athletes to charity founders, these recipients are invited to Windsor Castle, Buckingham Palace, or occasionally the Palace of Holyrood House to receive their medals and titles. And here's the key point. Investitures are highly symbolic moments. They reaffirm the monarchy's role as the fount of honour. They're dignified, formal, but also deeply personal moments for the honorees. Imagine training for decades in women's sport and finally being handed a medal by a royal. It's a day you never forget. About 30 of these ceremonies happen every year. Traditionally, only a handful of senior royals are allowed to conduct them: the monarch, the heir, and in recent decades, Princess Anne. Currently, that means King Charles, Prince William and Anne are the only ones hosting them at Windsor. And here's where the tension starts. Princess Anne, who's 74 and will turn 75 next month, is still doing the majority of these ceremonies. She's already hosted 10 this year. Compare that to Charles's 6 and William's 5. And remember, William lives at Adelaide Cottage on Windsor's estate. So when a ceremony is scheduled, Anne is travelling in, making the effort, even though her nephew is literally nearby. That hasn't gone unnoticed. Princess Anne has always been the monarchy's tireless workhorse. For decades, she's carried the highest number of engagements among all working royals, sometimes clocking 400 a year. She's famously no nonsense. She doesn't crave glamour. She simply gets on with the job. Royal insiders often joke that if the monarchy survives the modern era, it'll be thanks to Anne quietly propping it up. So, when the Times reported that sources close to Anne say she's annoyed about this imbalance of duty, it makes sense. She's earned her reputation as the most reliable royal, and she's not blind to when others aren't pulling their weight. The exact quote was, "She's still doing most of the investitures at Windsor, even though William lives there. It annoys her." Now let's be clear, Anne would never publicly criticise William. She's too discreet. But behind palace walls, she's human. And when you're almost 75, still doing the lion's share of ceremonies while your nephew has a lighter load, it might feel frustrating. So why isn't William picking up more ceremonies? Well, there are a few factors. First, his role as the Prince of Wales is broader and more visible. He's spearheading mental health initiatives, Earthshot Prize, overseas tours. His schedule is spread across multiple priorities. Second, this year has been particularly strained. Catherine, Princess of Wales, has stepped back temporarily for health reasons. William has been balancing family life with his royal workload. And third, there's an unspoken hierarchy. The king must appear most often in public as the sovereign. Anne's workload fills the gaps. William, as the future king, is being paced, carefully introduced into more ceremonial duties, but not overloaded too soon. But to someone like Anne, that might look like privilege. After all, she's been doing this non-stop since her 20s. Why should William get an easier ride just because he's the heir? Now, some of you might be wondering, why don't Queen Camilla or Princess Kate step in and share the load? Well, here's where royal tradition meets modern questions. Technically, there's no hard rule stopping royal spouses from hosting investitures. The late Queen Mother performed over 50 during Elizabeth II's reign. Prince Philip also presided over several while his wife was on the throne. But in practice, since the late 1980s, investitures have been reserved for blood royals. That means those born into the royal family, not those who married in. That's why, right now, only Charles, William and Anne do them. Camilla and Kate haven't yet been authorized. However, insiders say Charles is considering updating this tradition. Both Camilla and Kate are deeply respected by the public, and allowing them to host investitures would ease the burden on Anne. But as of now, it's still just talk, nothing official. This story about Anne's annoyance is about more than just ceremonies. It reflects a bigger problem: the shrinking pool of working royals. With Harry and Meghan out, Prince Andrew disgraced, the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester ageing, the workload is falling on fewer shoulders. Anne can only do so much. Charles, at 76 and undergoing cancer treatment, has limits. William is still balancing family with future duties. Kate is recovering. So, what's the solution? Bring in Camilla and Kate for investitures? Recruit younger royals like Beatrice and Eugenie? Or modernise the system entirely? This is exactly what many commentators have warned about. The slimmed-down monarchy might look cost-efficient on paper, but when it comes to boots on the ground, the day-to-day ceremonial duties, it stretches everyone thin. Anne's frustration might just be the first ripple of a larger issue. Can the firm maintain tradition without overburdening its remaining workers? Let's not forget these aren't just routine handshakes. Each ceremony has meaning. Earlier this week, Anne hosted another investiture at Windsor, presenting awards to Olympic trampolinist Bryony Page, paraswimmer Alice Ty, cyclist Emma Finucane, and even actress Sarah Lancashire. She also gave a CBE to Dr. Anita White, founder of the Women in Sport charity. Dr. White later shared how Anne discussed the challenges of women's sport being dominated by, quote, old grey men. It was a moment of candour that shows how engaged Anne is with honorees. So, yes, it's ceremonial, but it's also profoundly personal. And it takes energy, preparation, and emotional presence. Historically, the monarchy has adapted before. During Elizabeth II's reign, there were periods when Philip and the Queen Mother shouldered investitures because of scheduling conflicts. So could Charles officially extend that to Camilla and Kate? Yes, it would be a simple adjustment. But palace watchers say Charles is cautious about changing too much too fast. He's already modernising in other ways. But the clock is ticking. Anne turns 75 soon. She's robust, but no one can keep this pace forever. And William, for all his charisma, cannot carry everything alone. This moment might feel small, a princess annoyed about ceremonies, but in reality, it's a glimpse into the monarchy's future challenges. As the royal family gets smaller, who will be left to maintain the centuries-old rituals that bind it to the people? Will Camilla and Kate become more empowered to take on traditionally blood royal roles, or will William face more pressure to step up even if it strains his family life? And deeper still, will the public even care if these rituals change? Or will they see it as yet another sign the monarchy itself is fading? So, here we are, Princess Anne, the most dutiful royal of them all, quietly holding the fort while William focuses elsewhere, and Camilla and Kate remain on the sidelines. It's not scandalous, it's not a crisis, but it's telling, because the royal family is at a crossroads between tradition and practicality. What do you think? Should Camilla and Kate be allowed to host investitures? Should William be doing more, since he's right there at Windsor? Or is this just a temporary blip while the monarchy adjusts to a new era? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Thanks for watching Meghan and Harry Tales. If you found this video insightful, hit that like button, share it with a fellow royal watcher, and subscribe for more stories beyond the tabloids. I'm Adrian, and until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and stay tuned.